I, Shalom, first and foremost, want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah, Wahar Rakah Kodash, which in the ancient Hebrew tongue would be the correct names of the Heavenly Father, His beloved Son, and the Holy Spirit. Also would like to give double honors to my teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Much due honors and respect to the sincere brethren out there that's also laboring in his work. And as always, want to say shalom to you believers, the Akim, as well as the Akwat, the brothers along with the sisters out there that subscribe to this truth as well. So yeah, this lesson right here is going to be centered around destruction, which there's plenty of forms of destruction. And those of us in the know, those amongst us who have been exposed to this light, we understand that the main destruction is going to come in the form of World War III. Pretty much when World War III has ran its course and reached its climax, and those ICBM missiles began to be shot throughout the world, and mainly over here on the soils of America, well, that's going to be the ultimate destruction, But Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah has prepared many different forms of destruction, from something as subtle as you being hit by a stray bullet, or being involved in a car wreck, a fatal car crash, to the more dramatic forms of calamity, such as pestilence and famine. Well, guess what? If you're not under that protective hedge of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, you're going to be overtaken by these different calamities and forms of destruction, which the main catalyst for destruction is distractions. You see, in this place, America was set up to be nothing more than a great distraction, especially for the children of Israel. All right, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. This place consists of nothing but pitfalls and obstacles and stumbling blocks, to keep you from returning to your power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. All right, and unless the Spirit has rested upon you, you're not going to be able to navigate through these different pitfalls, okay, which was set up pretty much by Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, but the elites, of the nation of Edom, the chief house of the nation of Edom, which comes in the form of these international banking families, those who seize control of the planet Earth, which is a fulfillment of Job, the 9th chapter, and the 24th verse, where they have laid out these different pitfalls, man, to keep Israel from returning to their power, because it's not in the best interest for the elites of this society, for you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans to wake up, because they understand the day that happened, then their pursuit, of power is going to end. See? And that reign of terror, they're going to be dethroned, okay? Because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah at that moment was spring into action concerning the deliverance of his people, all right? So the destruction that's, going to overtake the majority of you people is going to be caused by the distractions that's here in America. Starting with your family, institutions and universities, different people subscribe to, athletics, entertainment. This place, America, was set up as nothing more than one great distraction. Matter of fact, let's start off with that right here in the book of 2nd Ezra, the 7th chapter, and starting at the 6th verse. It says, "There is also another thing, a city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things." Yeah, and that's dealing with the kingdom of heaven. All right? Verse 7, "The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall." Yeah, and what's that dangerous place to fall? America. Because the only way you can enter into the kingdom is you have to go through America. For an example, when you read the book of Acts, the 1st chapter, once our Lord Yahweh Shah was resurrected, after he was crucified, and he appeared to his disciples, they thought that the kingdom of heaven would be established right then. See? Matter of fact, you know what? Let me get that real quick. This is the book of Acts, the first chapter, in the 6th verse, starting at the 6th verse. It says, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? Yeah, so the disciples was inquiring of Yahweh Shai, look, will you at this time restore the kingdom? You know, they pretty much thought that the kingdom would be established through Rome. You know, they thought the path to the kingdom would go through Rome. See? But Yahweh Shai answered in verse 7, and he said unto them, it is not for you to know the times or the seasons which the Father hath put in his own power. So really, Yahweh Shai cut them. You know, he disappointed them because they thought that the kingdom would be established then, meaning they thought that that path to the kingdom would go through Rome, not understanding they would have to be reincarnated, you know, back here in America. And this is where that path is laid. We have to go through America to get through the kingdom, which again, America is full of distractions, all right? And pitfalls that's set up to knock you off of this path. See? So again, it says the entrance thereof is narrow and is set in a dangerous place to fall. And that dangerous place is America. So that path to the kingdom, you have to go through America. So the disciples, you know, the Apostle Paul, all the prophets of old, they have to go through this dangerous place, which is America. See? It say, and it's set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were a fire on the right hand and on the left a deep water. Right, so this is symbolic to the different distractions and the different stumbling blocks that's before you, you know? And again, it's America. It's Babylon the Great, which when you are going to that word Babylon in the Hebrew, it would be Babal, which means what? Confusion. And what happens if you're driving on a path and you're distracted or you're confused while you're driving? Ultimately, you're going to be taken off of that path, man. You're going to wreck, you know, when your focus should be straight ahead. Matter of fact, let me go there because the scriptures encourage those amongst us who have found this path to be focused. It's like tunnel vision because, you know, although we understand America and the pitfalls that come along with this place was set up to keep the children of Israel from returning to their power. But for all of us who have found that path and we have embarked on that mission of returning to our power, guess what? The distractions don't stop, man. In fact, the distractions intensify. So the scriptures actually encourage you to pretty much stay focused, man, to have a single eye. All right? This is Proverbs chapter 4, starting at verse 25. Let thine eyes look right on, see? And let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Yeah, so here on this path, we're not to be distracted. We're not to look from side to side, and especially not to look behind us. Matter of fact, I'm going to go back there, but let me get an example of that in the book of Luke, 17th chapter. Starting at the 31st verse, it says, in that day he which shall be upon the housetop, and his stuff in the house, let him not come down to take it away. And he that is in the field, let him likewise not return back. Meaning what? We are to look ahead. See? Verse 32, and this is the point. It says, remember Lot's wife. See? Which she was set up as an example for us to consider. Why was she destroyed? Ultimately because she looked back. Okay? So the scriptures pretty much encourage us to look forward and to stay focused. Again, you're in a place that's dominated by distractions, man. This place was set up as one big ball of confusion to take you off your square. All right, so back here, Proverbs 4:25, let thine eyes look right on, see? And let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Yeah, so that's the mentality. You know, we are not to be acclimated with the things that's happening around us. Hey, and it happens because being in this flesh, you have to suffer the same things that people that's not in the truth suffer. You know, and Yahweh Shai, you know, when you read the book of St. John, the 17th chapter, he prayed that we shall not be taken out of the world, but we shall be kept from the evil. So it's not like, when we go out on the streets and teach, we retreat to some cave, you know. No, we go back and we have to dwell amongst you people. We have to deal with the same ills of the world that you deal with. And sometimes, that can get distracting. For an example, myself, I just went through over the course of 72 hours, man. I went through an emotional roller coaster ride pretty much, man. I wasn't really able to upload videos and, other different things that kind of came out of the blue, with my car and, different things happened. But in all of that, and while that was happening, hey, I got frustrated, man, because things can happen back to back. You in the flesh, you'd be like, damn, But ultimately, you have to just look ahead. Meaning what? You got to look towards the kingdom. You know what? Let me get another quick precept and I'll go back there. That's the spirit. The book of 2 Corinthians, the 4th chapter. Starting at the 17th verse, it says, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory." Yes, so being here in America, this is only for a moment. Verse 18, "While we look not at the things which are seen," see, "but at the things which are not seen." Yeah, and the things that are seen is here in America. And what's the things that are not seen? The kingdom. Meaning what? We are to look ahead. And when you look ahead, you can't be sidetracked, by the distractions that's around you, which comes in the form of America, man. Babylon the Great. See? It says, "While we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, for the things which are seen are temporal." See? "But the things which are not seen are eternal." Okay? So that's why this is written in Proverbs 4:25. Let thine eyes look right on, see? "And let thine way, it's like it, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee." Meaning what? We looking at the kingdom. We looking ahead. All right? Verse 26, ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established." Verse 27, "Turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil." Yeah, so when you turn to the right hand or to the left, that means what? You're distracted, which goes back to that narrow path. If you turn to the right or the left, you're going to be overtaken by the different distractions that's around you. See? And again, we being in the flesh, sometimes you can teeter towards going to the right or teeter towards going to the left or getting off that path. But the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua guides you in the right direction. Matter of fact, let me get another quick precept. Book of Colossians, the 3rd chapter. I start at the top. It says, "If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above," which is what? The kingdom of heaven, man. And you cannot seek the things that's above or the things that's being prepared in the future by being distracted by the things that's happening in this world. Hey, and this is easier said than done, man. This is the conditions of the battle right here, man. Straight up. Being able to avoid all the pitfalls that comes in the form of America, man. All right? It says, "If ye then be risen with Hamashiach, seek those things which are above, where Hamashiach sitteth on the right hand of the Most High," and that's the kingdom. All right? Verse 2, "Set your affection on things above, not on things on the earth." See? And again, being in this flesh, being in this world, certain things happen. Bills, sometimes you can be overwhelmed with different bills. The same things that the average person go through, man. But the scriptures pretty much give you a pep talk on how to set your affections and your sight on the things to come, and not to be overtaken and overwhelmed and engulfed in things that's happening around you, which is nothing more than what? Distractions, which ultimately leads to what? Destruction. Yeah, so I just wanted to touch on that. Lord willing, it was edifying. Till the next time I say shalom.